Hello everyone and welcome to my EDU 709 Creating Project presentation. For my first lesson, I decided to use online presentation tools to enhance my current energy unit. My rationale for this is I'm in the process of currently overhauling my 8th grade science curriculum. I try and use inquiry-based learning as a staple for my classroom, but sometimes struggle with showing students how to properly present information that they have researched or discovered. I find that the use of this technology in my classroom will greatly enhance my ability to show how to properly present the material, as well as the students' ability to do the same thing. I find that some online presentation resources have a more user-friendly interface, but the end result might not be as good as some presentation tools that have a tougher, you might say, interface, but the end product may look better. I try and give my students as much freedom as possible as long as they are meeting the basic requirements for the given project, but also with the ability to choose their own resource to use or online presentation tool. They have the ability to go above and beyond maybe what they would be to do if you force them to use one of the given presentation tools. For these reasons, when implementing an online presentation tool for student use, I allow them to choose what best fits their needs, as long as they're still meeting the required goals. And of course, I would not just set them free and expect high quality presentations. I myself would first show my personal energy resource presentation to show them what a quality presentation would look like. I would give them two different examples they could choose from, or let them decide on something that they want to become familiar with on their own. My first online presentation tool would be using Screencast-O-Matic, what I'm using right now, and also a PowerPoint presentation or Google Point presentation to create the presentation that would be uploaded to YouTube. This would be an easier format for many because they need to know how to use the Screencast-O-Matic because they are already familiar with the PowerPoint, or most of them are already using Google Presentation. The second presentation that I would show students how to use would be Prezi. I feel that these are two great options for students who may be attempting this feat for their first time. Since I will be creating one for each of my own presentations, I would make a basic tutorial handout for students to minimize confusion if they chose one of these two options. Originally, students just created a poster board for this presentation, and it just seemed to cause more confusion than help overall. So I feel that having the opportunity to make an online presentation and use the interactive whiteboard that we have to present this material would greatly benefit not only my lesson, but also all of the other students. So a brief description of the presentation. Originally, students were split into groups 3 or 4 depending on class size. This is a unit that discusses 10 different energy sources such as biomass, coal, geothermal, hydropower. You can see the rest there. Each group is given a specific energy resource and at a minimum asked to answer a set of questions specific to their resource, as well as research other interesting facts about that given resource. This is a project where students get to become the teacher and as a final unit project present their findings to the class. Such questions would include a description of the resource, or if it is renewable or non-renewable, with many other questions. Originally, the students made a poster board, but it seemed out of date, as well as hard to present to the rest of the class. This is where an online presentation tool comes into play. An online presentation tool just seems to fit when going through my units and determining how I could integrate technology into the classroom next year. At the end of the unit, students will present their energy resources while other classmates pay attention and fill out an information sheet for each energy resource. This will also benefit students who may miss class because they will be able to access the information outside of class and fill out any missing information that they may have missed. The technology and resources that are involved in this presentation. Basically any online presentation tool that a student may choose as long as the requirements are met. And there are tutorials and examples that will be given out by myself using Screencast-O-Matic and Prezi. What skills and knowledge and pedagogy are required for teachers? Well, basic computer skills are a must, and I feel one of the biggest things that we must do is clearly define goals for the students, as well as exemplary examples to give students an idea of the expectations that are required for that project. What prior skills and knowledge are required of the students? I feel that this is just the right age to challenge students to be creative. There are not many of these types of opportunities in the science classroom, and it is always fun to be surprised by how your students can rise to the challenge. Students will be given the option to go outside of the two examples, but this is only if they are already comfortable with the technology that they are deciding to use. I'm more interested in how they display the information that they are required to research and teach and display it to the rest of the class. Many students are already coming to me with the basic computer skills needed and the knowledge to properly research and create a presentation. The only main difference is that they will be using a presentation tool to present the ideas that they are researching. So what are they exactly asked to do? Students are asked to, in groups of 3 or 4, research the given energy resource from the given list above. They are required to answer specific questions that will be presented to the rest of the class, as well as other interesting facts that they discovered. The main difference from previous years is, again, getting rid of the poster board, which mainly has small print, can seem boring to students and be repetitive, and create an engaging presentation with any of the online presentation tools. The main objective of my students will be to create a presentation using the online presentation tool currently available to teach the rest of the class about their given energy resource that they were assigned. So what are the procedures of the project? I feel many of my students already have come in contact with enough technology that at this point they will not run into any issues that they won't be able to tackle on their own. I have a basic tutorial and handout explaining, if they do run into any of these problems, how to create a presentation using the two resources if that is the choice of the user. The advantages of this project. Screencast-O-Matic allows students to create presentations without having to stand in front of the class. I've had issues with students being shy and refusing to participate. This method will allow students to work collaboratively on the project and accomplish all of the goals with minimal interactions with the majority of the class, if this is the aspect that they may struggle with. This project also shows them the wide range of possibilities when they are trying to present an idea to others. With the option to work outside of your comfort zone and teach others truly creates a genuine learning environment for the students. I'm still getting all of the required information across to all of the students, but it is in a fun and interesting way that benefits the students' creativity as well as research skills when putting together the project. Having the projects available on a class website will also allow for students to see other work outside of the class if they missed a presentation day from other students. A couple of the disadvantages of this project. Whenever working in groups, it is hard to hold every student accountable for the project that has to be done. I always allow for group projects to be done individually, but love seeing the collaboration among my students with the wide range of options for students out there. I will stress that it is important they choose outside of the given two options that I may not be able to help them with the piece of technology. Sometimes when giving this freedom to students, they can easily get distracted with the technology and forget about the content. I can see that this project taking more time in previous years, but see this disadvantage outweighed by the advantages that are presented. So what types of effective instructional strategies are included? Modeling, I feel, is the most important instructional strategy that is related to this project. For the first year, the only examples that they will receive will be given from me. But in future years, student examples can also be shown to show exemplary works for this project. Specific tutorials will be created in order to help students of the less tech-savvy users with more guidelines. Proper research methods as well as new ways to use technology to students will also be shown. Clear and consistent expectations for students will also be presented. Collaboration among peers is also of huge importance, as well as the ability to properly implement a given technology for personal use. So what are the possibilities that the innovation can be transferred to other teachers, subject content, and different school settings? Basically, this is an amazing skill or tool that can be used in any of the content areas in school. The ability to research a given topic and present the material in a captivating, cutting-edge way is indispensable.